Good day everyone. My name is Joshua Siscar from BSIT 3 Section C, and this is my presentation for our discussion for today. The influence of Spanish occupation in our country. Spanish occupation. The Spanish at the first view the Philippines as stepping stone to the riches of the East Indies Spice Islands. But even after the Portuguese and Dutch had foreclosed that possibility, the Spanish still maintained their presence in the archipelago. Spanish rule for the first 100 years was exercised in most areas through a type of tax farming imported from the Americas and known as the encomienda. But abusive treatment of the local tribute payers and neglect of religious instruction by encomenderos. Agricultural technology changed very slowly until the late 18th century, as shifting cultivation gradually gave way to more intensive sedentary farming, partly under the guidance of the friars. By the late 18th century, political and economic changes in Europe were finally beginning to affect Spain and thus the Philippines. Important as a stimulus to trade was the gradual elimination of the monopoly enjoyed by the galleon to Acapulco. The demand for the Philippine sugar and abaca grew apace, and the volume of exports to Europe expanded even further after the completion of the Suez Canal in 1869. Economy. The Spaniards implemented economic programs which are mainly about land ownership and taxes. The programs are encomienda, hacienda imposition of different kinds of taxes, galleon trade, monopoly, and polio servicios encomienda. The encomienda is a land ownership with the use of titulo as proof of ownership. Manila-Acapulco galleon trade. The Manila-Acapulco galleon trade was the main source of income for the colony during its early years. Service was inaugurated in 1565 and continued into the early 19th century. Spanish authorities did not show any sign of fairness towards the Filipinos, especially in the division of responsibilities and polo-wise servicio. The next one is the influence of American occupation in our country. American colonial policy in the Philippines was unique in the world of colonialism because of the following reasons. 1. The Americans said they would go as soon as the Filipino could stand on their own as a free nation. From the beginning, American officials did not want to hold to the Philippines as a colony forever. The Americans were kinder and more generous than colonial powers of the same era. The Americans shared power with the Filipinos government. The Filipinos adopted Americans' ways very well. No other former colony likes its other country as much as the Filipinos like the United States. The Philippines was ruled by the Americans in the following ways. 1. Military government. August 14, 1898 to July 4, 1901. Civil government, July 4, 1901 to August 1902. There were several kinds of civilian government during the American era. These were the Philippine Commission, the American Governor General, together with the Filipino people and the Commonwealth of the Philippines. In the beginning, American policy was unselfish. The Philippine Bill of 1902 declared that all public lands and natural resources were for the benefit of the inhabitants. The Filipino policy was repeated into Jones Law of 1916 and Tidings-McDuffie Law of 1934. Some of American officials gave better treatment to Americans doing business or working in the Philippines. The economy then was developed largely by American and pro-American Filipinos. Agricultural increase, free trade with America, business boom, new industries, improvement in transportation and communication, better budget. And that's all. Thank you. But nandito po ang aking paliwanag kung alin po ang aking pipiliin, kung American po or Spanish. Para po sa akin, ang pipiliin ko po ay ang Amerika kasi po dito po sa kanilang ambag sa atin sa Pilipinas, malaking bagay na po itong mga binanggit ko po kanina na na kanilang niambag dito, yung agricultural increase po, yung free trade po sa ibang bansa na galing sa Amerika, yung mga business po, yung improvement po ng mga ng mga sasakyan po, tapos po yung communication, like yung sa cellphone nga po, yung communication ng paggamit po ng lingwaheng English, tsaka yung sa po sa gamit, mas po sila, mas maganda po yung kanilang technology. Yun po, salamat po. Ang pinili ko po ay America.